All right, everyone, and we are back with part two of Helltown right here on Untold. And I am your host, Doug Nicholson. So let's get into it. There are legends about a location within Helltown known as the End of the World. The End of the World was one section of Stanford Road which featured a steep incline and a sudden drop down, almost giving the impression that cars were driving off a cliff. Some have claimed that supernatural occurrences happened on that road, while others have alleged that the road was evil and caused deadly car crashes. Once again, through there are similar stories of other highways to hell or gates to hell across the world, and it's more likely that the name was given to this stretch of road simply due to its eerie atmosphere rather than anything paranormal. In fact, the same could be said of Helltown in general. Helltown's spooky name was likely the result of, rather than the source, of all these urban legends. The residents of Boston Township in Ohio were indeed forced to abandon their homes by the federal government, but not because of a chemical spill or a supernatural cover up. With national concerns about taking out the forest in full swing in 1974, U.S. President Gerald Ford approved the legislation that granted the National Park Service the power to take out the land, therefore, to preserve the nation's forest and establish new national parks throughout the country. While the idea being the bill may have been well intended, it was bad news for residents living in areas designated by the National Park Service for new parks, including those who resided in Boston, Ohio. The locals who resided in what's now part of Cuyahoga Valley National Park had no choice but to leave after the government bought their properties. It's likely that these former residents became even more resentful when the government fell behind on the project, letting the town sit deserted for decades before it was finally demolished as planned. One local said his feelings clear in a message he scrawled on a wall of the town's abandoned homes. Now we know how the Indians felt. Alright, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this part two. Please like and subscribe, share my channel, and we will have more adventurous stories coming up for you. Thanks again.